HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So first of all, Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and HTML is a markup language for describing web documents. Okay, used for HTML, used for structuring and presenting content on the World Wide Web. Content on the World Wide Web. Okay, HTML is used for structuring and presenting content on the World Wide Web. An HTML markup language for describing web documents, and you can specify the text files to achieve fonts, colors, graphics, and markup language is a set of markup tags. Markup language is a set of markup tags. Okay, markup tags. And HTML documents are described by HTML tags. HTML documents are described by HTML tags. Markup language is a set of markup tags, and HTML documents are described by HTML tags. So each HTML tag describes different document content. Each HTML tag describes different document content. Okay, document content. So first of all, we have to know the versions of HTML. HTML versions. So here we have the different versions available in HTML. Okay, from the starting HTML 1.0. So this is the first version of HTML. This is the first version of HTML. Okay, and it's released in 1991. Okay, in the year 1991. So this version supports inline images and text controls. Okay, inline images and text controls. So inline images and text controls nothing but, suppose if you want to display image in web document. Okay, so simply we can use image tag and the source attribute. So this is the attribute, source attribute, to provide the image path. To provide image path, and after that height of the image and width of the image. Okay, these are the attributes. Source, height, width are attributes, and this is element. Okay, image is the element, and these are all so src and height and width attributes. Okay, so using attributes we can provide the additional information of the HTML tag. So HTML 1.0 was very limited in terms of styling and presentation of content, and you want to display text box in HTML document, okay, web document, use this input tag and type equal to text and close this tag. So this is the syntax to display text box in web document. Okay, next next version is HTML 2.0. HTML 2.0. So this is the second version, and this version version released in 1995. Okay, 1995, and this version supports forms with a limited set of form elements, forms with a limited set of form elements, okay, form elements such as text boxes and option buttons. Okay, next, this is the first point, and second point is, so we can change page background. Okay, in this version we can change page background. Okay, so like background image or background color, so like this we can change. And third one, so we can use HTML tables, okay, from this version. So this is the features of HTML 2.0, and next version is HTML 3.2. Okay, just this is introduction of HTML and versions of HTML. So next version 3.2, and released in 1997. Okay, this version is released in 1997, and it supports so creating tables and expanded options for form elements, creating tables and expanded options for form elements. And this version also supports web pages to include complex mathematical equations. Okay, and also supports include complex mathematical equations. Okay, this version includes complex mathematical equations. And HTML 4.0. Okay, this version mainly supports style sheets. This version supports style sheets. Okay, and using these style sheets, using these style sheets, you can change you can change the look and feel of the website. You can change the look and feel of the website. Okay, so the main thing is in style sheets, once you change any change in style sheet, it will reflect entire application. Okay, entire application. Once anything, any you made any change in style sheet, so that change will reflect to the entire application. Okay, so we can change the look and feel of the website. So this is the main feature of 4.0. So this version released in 1999. Okay, and finally the latest version and current version of HTML is HTML5. Okay, so this is the current version of HTML5. So this version supports lot of features. This version has lot of features. Okay, lot of features. So first one, new doc type. So I will explain this uh, features. New doc type, and second one, the figure element. Figure element. And next third one, no more types for scripts and links. Types for scripts and links. And the fourth one, local storage. Okay, so this is main important feature in HTML5. And the fifth one, email inputs. And the sixth one, header. Okay, header tag. And seventh one, footer tag. Eighth one, content editable. Ninth one, canvas. Okay, so these are the main advantages of HTML5. So the next step is, so I will explain these features. Okay, after complete the sample HTML form. So first of all, how we can start with the HTML. Okay, so we need editor, HTML editors. We need HTML editors to implement. Okay, to implement HTML document. HTML document. So the editors, like we have number of editors. So we can use Notepad in our system. And second one, Notepad plus plus. Third one, Sublime Text. Sublime Text. And the fourth one, Coffee Cup HTML editor. Coffee Cup HTML editor. And fifth one, Adobe Dreamweaver. Okay, Adobe Dreamweaver. And Microsoft Expression Web. And the seventh one, mm, so Microsoft Visual Studio also we can use. MS Visual Studio. Okay, So any editor we can use.
Do you think we can use PyCharm by any chance?
So first of all, for sample HTML document, I am using Notepad. Okay, so open Notepad and write some HTML tags. So first tag is doc type HTML, and the second one is HTML starting tag and ending tag. For each and every HTML tag, okay, should have starting tag and ending tag. Okay, for each and every HTML element. Okay, so in this HTML, so we have two areas: header section and body section. Okay, so header section and body section. So this is the HTML document. In this HTML document, we have two areas: header section, two sections: header section and body section. So we can place all the HTML elements. Okay, all HTML tags are HTML elements. Okay, all HTML elements in body section. In this header section, we can use to call CSS files. Okay, .css files and .js files. Okay, so in this example, I want to display some paragraph. Okay, use tag p tag to display paragraph in the HTML document. Okay, this is starting tag and this is ending tag. So between these two, starting tag ending tag, so you can write some example content. This is my sample paragraph. Okay, so after you uh, place the all HTML tags in the body section, you can save this file. Okay, you can save this file with the .html extension. Okay, so create your project folder, and in that project folder you can save that file with file name .html. Okay, if you are using Notepad, save that Notepad with the .html extension. So go to that folder and check it. Okay, so sample HTML form is created. So double click on this, you can find this is my sample paragraph. Okay, paragraph content is displaying. So if you want to see the total HTML code in the browser, you can right click and go to inspect. Okay, here you can see total HTML code of the sample.html form. Okay, HTML tag and header section and the body section. Okay, in this body section, so this body section to display the content in the browser. So in this example, so this is the sample code. Sample code. In this sample example, in the sample example, so first tag is there, doc type HTML. Doc type HTML. So doc type HTML declaration to your HTML documents. So always add this, always you add this tag to your your HTML documents, so that the browser knows what type of documents expecting. So that the browser knows what type of documents to expect. Okay, so that the browser knows what type of documents to expect. So what is that the meaning of doc type HTML? Okay, doc type HTML, in older versions of HTML, so you should create the HTML document with the DTD declaration. You should create HTML documents with DTD rules. Okay, DTD rules. DTD means doc type declaration. Okay, doc type declaration. Okay, you should specify the rules for the markup language using DTD so that the browser render the content correctly in older versions. In older versions of HTML, you should create HTML documents with DTD rules so that the browser render the content correctly. So HTML5 is not based on HTML. Okay, HTML5 is not based on HTML. HTML means stands for Standard Generalized Markup Language. Standard Generalized Standard Generalized Markup Language, and therefore does not require a reference to a DTD. Does not require reference to a DTD. Okay, in older versions, so you have to create the doc type declaration like uh, doc type HTML, public hyphen slash slash double 3c slash slash DTD and XHTML 1.0 and transitional slash slash en, and after that again double quotes http slash slash www.w3.org slash tr. So you can specify small letters also. XHTML1 XHTML1 sorry DTD double three http double three dot org tr slash xhtml1 and next DTD, right? slash xhtml 1 transitional dot dtd. So this is the tag to specify the to create HTML documents using DTD rules. Okay, you should follow the DTD rules to implement HTML documents. But in HTML5, so simply you can define the first tag like this. Doc type HTML. Okay, this is the simple tag to define the HTML documents in HTML5. So this is the tag to define HTML documents in up to HTML 4.0 version. Okay, so we add the HTML doc type HTML declaration to our HTML documents so that the browser knows what type of documents to expect. Okay, so this is the first feature of HTML5. Okay, new doc type. So this is the first feature of HTML5, and next figure element. So figure element, for example, you want to display image with image description. Okay, in the bottom of the image you want to display image description. Okay, so you can use this tag to display image with image description. Okay, image description. So you can use this image figure element to display image description in the bottom of the image or top of the image. You can display. So syntax, figure, so figure tag and the image src, so image path here. Okay, so provide image path here, and the most important attribute is also alt. Okay, so specify image name and the height of the image and width of the image, and close this tag. And after that, fig caption tag we can use. Fig caption, fig caption and the image description here. You can display image description. Okay, you can place this tag in the top of the image also. Okay, so this is the figure element, and no more types for scripts and links. So next feature is no more types for scripts and links. So don't need we don't need to specify we don't need to specify type attribute. Okay, type attribute when you include .css files, .css or .js files in HTML document. Okay, so directly we can call script tags like script and source. So script tag is used to call the .js files in the HTML document. Here we can provide .js file path, and after that, so directly we can close this tag. Okay, in HTML file. So, but in older versions of HTML, in older versions, okay, so compulsory you need to specify the type attribute. Type text JavaScript. Okay, compulsory we need to specify this type attribute in older versions. But in HTML5, no need to specify the type attribute. And also, you want to call .cs files. Use link tag and href attribute .css file path. Okay, next relation attribute style sheet and close this tag. Okay, so this is the syntax to call the .css files in HTML document. Okay, and in older versions, compulsory we need to provide type attribute text css. Okay, so this is the syntax to call the .cs files and the .js files in older versions, and this is the simple syntax to call .js files and .css files in HTML documents. And local storage. So we can use this feature, to store the values in the browser. Okay, store the values in the browser. So the values, browsers remember the values. Okay, what we type. So even after the browser is closed or it's refreshed. Okay, if the browser is closed, so the browser remember what we type. Okay, if the browser is refreshed, then also browser remember what we type. So local storage sets fields on the domain. Okay, local storage uh, set the variables in the browser and save the save the values. Okay, what we type in the browser, save the values in that variables in cookies. Okay, so even when you close the browser, so or reopen it and go back to the site, so it remembers all fields in local storage. Okay, so this is the usage of local storage. So I will explain this feature with coding in AngularJS. Okay, so we have the concept in AngularJS also using local storage. So I will explain this local storage concept in AngularJS with the coding. And next, email inputs. So email inputs is we don't need to write any validation for the email inputs. Okay, no need to write any validation. Okay, uh, any validation using JavaScript for email inputs. Email inputs nothing but, so the text box accept only email formats. So email inputs nothing but the text box accept only email formats. Email format should be like abc@gmail.com or anything else. So this is the format, email format. So the text box should accept this format only. Syntax: input type equal to, so no need to specify here text, that is email. So email also we have one type. Placeholder is to identify the text box. Okay, what we have to enter in the text box. Okay, close this text box. Okay, so this is the email inputs. And next, headers tag and photo tag and content editable and canvas. So using this header and photo tags you can implement when you are designing the page, okay, home page. Header and photo tags and content editable. So this feature is using this feature we can edit the text content in the browser. Okay, in the browser. So in older versions of HTML we can't edit the text content in the browser, but in HTML5 so they provided the feature, content editable feature, to edit the text content in the browser. So syntax, so for example we have one paragraph. This is my text content. Okay, so if you open this HTML form, okay, so this paragraph will display. So once you can check this example with the sample.html form. So here paragraph is displaying and we cannot edit this content. So we have the feature content editable. Content editable equal to true. Okay, content editable equal to true. So then we can edit the content in the browser. Okay, so now you can change content. So like this.
We can't hear you, sir.
Okay, canvas. Using this, you can create uh, or draw graphics on web documents. Okay, web documents. So we can draw or create graphics on web page, and so you use canvas tag. Use canvas tag. Canvas tag to create graphics. Okay, to create the graphics in HTML document, so we need JavaScript also. Okay, we need to write some JavaScript code to implement graphics. Okay, so these are the HTML introduction and these features. Okay, versions of HTML and features and the sample code. Okay, how we can create HTML documents and HTML editors and the code explanation.